Love lives here.
So, good morning. Welcome to the morning table. It's so good to see all of you here today. And, it's pretty packed today. Yeah, so Reverend Jeffrey and I and Zena, we come together once a week and we talk about services and we talk about the themes and the talk titles and all those things like that we like to bring forth. And so we were talking about, the creative process, and I did Tending Your Garden. And so we came up with this talk title today, You Thinking What I'm Thinking? And look at it. It's not, are you thinking what I'm thinking? It's just, you thinking what I'm thinking? And so that is kind of this idea of race consciousness. Because in race consciousness, we're not making those choices. We're just following the crowd. So we wanted to dive a little bit deeper and specifically bring out those hidden things that we do and we're not even aware of that we're doing. They're hidden, and we just kind of go along with it. It's like what that was up there today, follow the leader. So the question was, would you rather play Simon Says, or would you rather follow the leader? And so in this thing called race consciousness, it's kind of like we're following the leader. And so I have a definition for you. So what if you don't know what race consciousness is? So race consciousness says human race has formed laws of physical birth and death, laws of sickness and physical inabilities, laws making food the source of bodily existence, and the laws of mind that recognizes no other source or existence except the physical. The sum total of these laws forms a race consciousness, separate from and independent of creative mind. Ooh. Separate and independent from creative mind. So, do you know what creative mind is? Yes, you do. You do. You already know what it is. Or you can kind of work that out. I forgot to do something. Set a timer. So when creative mind, mental and spiritual laws sought to help man spiritually, the mind of the flesh, the body, the flesh, opposed it and made every effort to solve its problems in its own way. So the flesh decided that I'm going to do things my way, and I'm not going to let my creative mind work for me. I'm just going to follow the leader. And so in Science of Mind teaches that we are affected by impressions, some of these impressions that we never thought of ourselves, and that each person that we encounter in our life has a subjective atmosphere, and every place has a subjective atmosphere, right? So like right here, right now, in the center, there's an atmosphere here. In our homes, there's an atmosphere there. In our workplace, there's an atmosphere there. When we're with our families, there's an atmosphere there. So the Science of Mind, page 239, talks about the race mind and the mind of history. Consciousness and the history of race are written in the mental atmosphere of the planet. So we have come here and we've made agreements. We made an agreement to be here and to follow the leader. So I have an example of that. So here's a story. It's called Grandma's Ham, and you may have heard Grandma's Ham before. It's a cultural training. This is a great story about cultural training, which is when one generation teaches another a process. Another word for culture training is on-the-job training. And so we pass down this knowledge from job to job, person to person, family member to family member. So a husband and his wife were in their kitchen. The husband was sitting at the kitchen table reading a newspaper while his wife was preparing a ham for dinner. The husband watched the wife cut off 1 inch on either side of the ham. And he asked why she cut it off, proclaiming, "That's a waste of a good ham." And she said, "That's the way my mom prepared it." The husband said, "Why did your mom cut off the ends of the ham?" The wife said, "I really don't know. I have no idea." Later, the wife called her mom to find out why she cut the ends of the ham off. The mom said, "Because that's the way my mom did it." So that means you don't question it. That's the way grandma did it, that's the way I'm doing it, and that's the way you're going to do it. So the wife's grandma had passed several years early, so there was no way to ask her, but they called Grandpa because Grandpa was still living. So they said, "Grandpa, why did Grandma cut the ends of the ham off?" And so he was silent as he thought for a moment, and then he replied, "So the ham could fit in the baking pan." So Grandma's baking pan wasn't big enough to support the whole ham, so she cut 1 inch off of each side of the ham. And so that was translated. Her daughter picked that up, and her daughter started doing it. And then her daughter's daughter started doing it, and they don't know why until they finally called Grandpa. So sometimes we're going in life and we're just doing what we've seen done. We're repeating or modeling, not modeling, but what's the word I'm looking for? What is it? Emulating what we've seen done, and we don't even know why we're doing it. So this mental atmosphere shows up in areas of our life. It actually shows up in the media as well. So there's a collective agreement on this planet, and we bought into it, about abundance, about age. Like, if you get to be this age, you should be doing this at this time. You should be wearing this outfit and these clothes. You should cut your hair, because they tell women who age, if they have long hair, "Oh, that doesn't look good. You need to cut it." We've even bought into the fact that we can't wear white after Labor Day. But then when you move to California, you can do whatever you want to do. So there are some outliers, and we are it. I wear Uggs in the summer. So, so we age, and then also our health. We have bought into this idea that if mom or grandma or my family structure had this particular problem or dis-ease, that I'm going to get it. I should have it too. And so when we go to the doctor, we sit down with the doctor, and he says, "Well, is there any indication of this in your family?" And we say yes. So we buy into it. And so we just kind of take it on. When my chemistry is different from my mom's. I mean, we may have some of the same DNA, but, our lifestyles are different. So therefore, I don't have to have the same, thing that she had, and neither do you. Also, intelligence. They say some races our cultures are better at math, at science, at STEM, and this and that and the other. And so we buy into that, saying, "Oh, yeah, that culture over there, they're really good at math." And we buy into this, I want to say crap, but we buy into it. Even the seasons. We watch our television, and it tells us that we need to take, and I'm not knocking anybody. My doctor told me this year, did you get the flu shot? And I said, "I never get the flu shot." And so she said, "Well, you're of that age, you need to get a flu shot." And I thought, "Oh, yeah, lady? I don't think so." But anyway, it's my choice. She said, "Your body, your choice," and I agree with that. But I'm just saying that I have a friend who's a nurse. Her name is Linda. And so what she talked about is when she was working in the hospital, they would announce over the PA system, it's flu season. Please get your flu shots. It's flu season. It's flu season. It's flu season. It's flu season. And what happened? Everybody got the flu. Not everybody, but a large majority of the nursing people that work in the hospital came down with the flu. So, so this race consciousness is always trying to impress itself upon us. It's trying to, for lack of a better word, control. It's a manipulation. It's about control. And so this control is not necessarily in our best interest, is it? So if we're not making decisions for ourselves and we're allowing other people to make decisions, or other media or whatever is out there to make decisions from us, we can't be, I guess we could be upset or angry, but if something happens, if we get the flu, because we were buying into all this race consciousness. Race era, erroneous race thoughts bind mankind to sin. We don't say sin, though. We say wrong thinking. Disease, poverty, war, calamities, and even death. So race mind, the totality of beliefs, thoughts, memories, feelings, and experience of the race. Man has built into a race mind and a consciousness of corruptible flesh instead of the inherent incorruptible. We have gotten rid of the absence. We have gotten rid of this God part of ourselves. So this race consciousness has us hypnotized. And so most of us are hypnotized from the cradle to the grave. And then this race consciousness has us limited. We believe in lack and limitations, don't we? Limited by actual boundaries, but by we are not limited by actual boundaries, but by false ideas about life and by a failure to recognize that we deal with the infinite. We deal with the infinite, correct? So this race consciousness is a real thing. And the way we get around it is to know that we are created in the image and likeness, and the Bible says the image and likeness, but we know that there's an indwelling presence within us that's not on any time schedule. That doesn't say, Lou, Friday at noon, I'm going to do that thing that you've been asking me for. Spirit doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. It's an inside job. When Lou decides that she wants to manifest that thing that she's been wanting in her life, it's like flipping on a switch. Come out of the dark, flip on the light switch. We are created, and everything that is within us is within God. You said something like that this morning in your prayer. So everything we need, we already have. Just like before Edison decided to do a light bulb or whatever he did, or turn on the light, it was already there. Someone just had to open up their consciousness to it. There are infinite possibilities in this world. There is already a cure for cancer. There's already a cure for diabetes. There's already a cure of this or that for everything. We just have to open up to it. Become aware of it. Because I always say this thing and I always get it wrong. What is that? The 4-minute mile or the 6-minute mile. What is that thing? 4 minute? So before no one could do it until somebody did it. Now everybody can do it. Yeah. Yeah, right. Not everybody. Not me. I never went out for track, but I did go out. I did apply to be the statistician for the baseball team. You know why? Because my boyfriend played baseball. So, you know, those things that, was that a foul? No, it wasn't. Mm-mm. I was cooking the books. Ah, but I just wanted to say that, you know, this thing called race consciousness is a real thing, and that in Ernest Holmes says in Creative Mind of Success, by the activity of our thought, things come into our life, and we are limited because we have not known the truth. We have thought that outside things control us when all the time we have within us everything we need to change. So we sung a song called Change. So we change our thinking, will change our life. And Jesus, the master teacher, showed us that. Jesus showed us that mastery is attained through realization of the power of the Spirit. And in the mind of the Christ, of Jesus, it penetrates and permeates our race consciousness like the etheric waves from a mighty broadcasting system. And we can tune in anytime by simply concentrating mentally on this substance, this Christ consciousness that is within us. And so, are you thinking what I'm thinking? No! You're creating from the creative mind. And that's where you're going to find your success. That's where you're going to find your healing. That's where you're going to find everything that is within you. And so right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right now, and we're going to go to our questions on the table. Okay, I am free, I am unlimited, right? That's what you just sang. So I'm asking the practitioners and the core council to please stand and surround the sanctuary as we join in consciousness on how we can be free and unlimited. Oh, I guess before that we need to say our affirmation. I'm open to discovering a deeper truth. So let's say that together. I'm opening to discovering a deeper truth. Let's say that again because I said it wrong. I'm open to discovering a deeper truth. And so let's just bow our heads and go into consciousness. And so that deeper truth that we're talking about is how we become free and unlimited. And that is through the power and presence of this one God, one divine presence that is in us as us. It is us. It lives and moves and has its being in us, through each of us. And in that we are unlimited. There are infinite possibilities in there. If you want right relationships, it is in this truth. If you want better health and perfect health and wholeness, it is in this truth. If you want abundance and prosperity, it is in this truth of who and whom's you are. So just let go and let God just be that presence that is already within us. So in our time when we wake up in the morning, let's deepen ourselves in that presence because it's always there. It's just that sometimes we get up and we get going and we forget about that still small voice that is within us. So just take a deep breath and know that this power is in you as you. And if you want to be free, if you want to be unlimited, if you want to have your heart's desires, if you want this peace that we talk about, this peace that passes all understanding, then know the truth of who you are. And blessings to all, each and every one of you. And so it is.